Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and ghouls, children of all ages. Say hello to Johnny, who was nice enough to give us a nice plot out of the ground so that he could be a prop on my table.
Hi, Johnny.
We've had the marathon from hell or whatever today. Just so y'all know what's coming up, today you're going to be hearing about the late, great Roger Corman, who just passed away on the 9th, unfortunately, and
Such a great mind.
yeah, his impact that he had on my life and cinema and whatever we can come up with. And
There's not one person in this world that has not seen a Roger Corman film, whether they know about it or not.
right. We're also going to be doing, in the next couple weeks, Combat Shock, which we just watched, and it's Trome, so have fun having a lovely little Tro masterpiece thrown into your lives, and also Addison Bynek's Psycho Ape, which we just picked up. So I am your host, Dr. Morgus Rotten. Welcome to the morgue. This is the Hellywood Slab.
Hellywood Slab.
Yes, Hellywood Slab. Yes, shut up. I got it right. And this is my co-host, Mortis.
Hi. Yeah, I feel like I should have had a banana for this, but
Well, we haven't gotten to that movie yet.
When will?
Yeah.
But talking about apes, I just want a banana.
Well,
Banana.
I can't eat them, unfortunately.
No?
No.
Don't kill you?
Nah, upset my stomach.
So you'd really be a sore person on the Psycho Ape set.
Right. Maybe we would love for you to like and subscribe. Hit that little bell button. It helps a lot. And, it's not much, just a little bit. We're just starting out here. So, the more people who do, the better off that we are.
A like goes a long way.
Right. But Roger Corman. What can you say about Roger Corman?
Vampirella.
Vampirella's a good one. Bucket of Blood.
Little Shop of Horrors.
Naked Obsession. If you haven't seen it and you like TNA flicks, the best one ever. Maria Ford and William Catt. You can't go wrong.
TNA flicks, huh?
Oh.
There's a term I have not heard a lot.
It's a TNA flick, man, and I'm not gonna lie. Maria Ford, and she's got them for miles, man. But actually had a story and stuff. It wasn't a typical Skinamax flick. It actually had story. It's story. Shut up. Hey, Joe Bob Briggs even brags about this one. Okay,
well,
so Naked
ones.
Obsession. What else you got? That's it?
No. There was a few Vincent Price ones that they did too.
Oh, well, of course. I was waiting for that for the last, man. I'm talking about obscure. Let's do some deep cuts here. Well, Hell Comes to Frogtown. Carnosaur.
Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Battle Beyond the Stars.
Someone just recently sent me Hell Comes to Frogtown. Said
Really?
I should check out this movie and watch it with them. And I'm like, okay, send me the trailer. I was not expecting Rowdy Piper.
New World Pictures, New Concord. These studios brought us some great New World Pictures distributed Hellraiser, man. Hellraiser.
Yeah.
We're talking Clive Barker's Hellraiser. I'm sorry, but talk about a movie that changed things up. And what I was like, Corman, knew that this film was going to do something.
Oh, hell yeah.
And
boy, did it ever.
Yes.
It's still doing things.
They have such sights to show us.
Too many.
Yes. They keep making them. But even with New Concord, my mom and we used to watch this every time it come on Cinemax. I don't know what it was with Roger Corman and his films on Cinemax, but Don the Dragon Wilson's Future Kick.
Yeah.
That Terminator Kung Fu ripoff. It was just an absolute blast to watch. Roger Corman, made them all. The Terror? The Terror with Jack Nicholson and Boris Karloff.
Yeah, he did a lot of great films.
Yes.
And it still saddens me the fact that he died and there wasn't massive coverage. Not anything's posted, people saying things, nothing.
Yeah, I figured, with as much inspiration and influence that Corman had on Hollywood, even guys...
Right.
Like Francis Ford Coppola came out and talked about him. Jack Nicholson, for the first time in years, actually came out and said something about something because Nicholson was discovered.
Yeah,
by Roger Corman.
Roger Corman, we would not
Little
have had
Shop of Horrors, man.
He was freaking amazing.
Yeah, short scene that he was in, sadomasochistic guy going to see a dentist. That's terrifying stuff.
What could go wrong?
Yeah, what could go wrong is Jack. Jack Nicholson, at least he didn't go Shining on us. We had a few years to wait for that one.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of things happened. And then, of course, we do have to talk about the Edgar Allan Poe, Vincent Price films, because
they were phenomenal.
Talk about films that made Corman a legend, but I also think those films are extremely important for Vincent Price because his career was kind of finishing up in Hollywood. I mean, he had done some horror films, but I don't think he had ever done anything to those magnitudes.
No, with his classical training and everything else like that, it's just like, it was one of those things that he was meant for.
No, yeah. I mean, The Raven was good and all that, but I'm telling you, the two films that just get me every time, I can't decide which one is better. I love Mask of the Red Death and The Pit and the Pendulum. Both of them are just...
Pit and the Pendulum for me.
I mean, it's just iconic film.
Yes.
Mask of the Red Death, though, he was so good in that one. He was just such a bastard in that film, and he was just, none of them touched Witchfinder General, but wow, man, they were so good, man. I mean,
I'm not ready to revisit that one. I'm not.
Always got to revisit that one when we're talking Vincent Price. I mean,
that was brutal.
I mean, without films like that, though, we might not have gotten like Dr. Phibes or Scream and Scream Again, or his rap at the end of Thriller. I mean, we
the Thriller rap, yeah.
But it was big. I mean, it was Vincent Price staying relevant.
He took off.
I mean, hell, we may not have even had him on Batman as Egghead,
or even freaking. Oh my God, that's a deep cut though.
Yeah. Also, what was it? I forgot the Mad Scientist on the Brady Bunch. I don't much care for the Brady Bunch, but those episodes were fun.
The creator, Edward Scissorhands.
Yes, 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo.
A whole cartoon season based on.
I'm not a big Scooby-Doo fan, but again, Vincent Price is in those and makes it work. And don't get me started on his appearance for the Muppet Show, which was just amazing. Absolutely.
But we're getting off track.
Great. Yes. But Roger Corman saw
the potential
with Vincent Price because he knew Vincent Price was so good and that he'd be able to do this. I mean, there's even, it led to Vincent going on and doing, The Night with Edgar Allan Poe, which all he does is recite the poems, and it's just so good. And Roger Corman had a lot to do with him getting that, too.
Yeah.
Again, Roger Corman just tried to kind of stay out of TV, but he had influence. He helped people out.
He was great.
I was hearing a rumor. I don't know if this is true, but I did hear a rumor that at the time Gene Roddenberry was having trouble figuring out how to get the special effects to look right for Star Trek. And from what I understand, Corman had something to do with that because he didn't want to be credited because he didn't want to be credited for TV because back then you either did TV or you did movies. And he's the one that supposedly got the spaceship shots to look right for them. I mean, he was a friend of Desi Arnaz's.
Yeah.
And
because
there you go.
Them had the whole running on that. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know if we can confirm that one, but I was talking with some people about a week ago and they had brought that up and I was like, really?
If it's true, at the bottom it's going to say fact.
Well, the point is, all you people that are watching, my little boils and ghouls, sound off for us in the comments section. Let us know. Let us know what your favorite Roger Corman film was. Let us know.
Or still is.
Or still is, or, let
Top
us.
Top 5.
Yeah.
We'll do a little thingy.
Oh, man, you want me to try to name off top 5 Roger Corman films?
No, never. I've never said that, ever.
Oh, man, it's just off the top of my head.
I can't even do 5 right now. I'd have to look at my phone to backtrack.
Well, I can pull 5 up easy off the top of my head, like a Carnosaur, man. There's your number 5. Wait. One more I got to bring up, just because it's not on the list, but Piranha.
Oh, Piranha.
Piranha, man, come on.
Okay,
the greatest Jaws ripoff ever.
Let me tell you about Piranha, okay? I was 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And my family thought it'd be great to go out to the lake one year. What movie were they showing at the big drive-in off the lake?
Of course.
They're showing Piranha.
Of course. Because that's fun.
You know, the one of the other Piranhas was filmed out here.
We're in Hellywood, so they don't
Yeah.
film anything here.
Yeah. Look, man.
It's going to be weird how we time shift to Tromaville.
Yeah.
That's going to be very interesting to see how we pull that one off. But yeah, Piranha, way. I mean, I just
of its
watched that
No.
a couple years back
Nope.
with my wife, Maggot Rotten.
My wife.
And her son, my stepson, the youngest one. We weren't sure.
Little maggot.
Yeah. We weren't sure if he was going to like it, and he absolutely loved it. Just the whole time. Just
Jeez.
loved it, loved the movie, and I was like, Piranha just doesn't get as much respect, and even
No,
Steven Spielberg liked Piranha.
Piranha was great.
So
It was one of the first group of B films that I remember seeing growing up that just made you go,
yes. So Carnosaur. Okay,
Carnosaur.
we're going to talk about Carnosaur here for a second. Any of these movies that I bring up, I do recommend seeing. You may not like them. I'm sorry. But Carnosaur, Jurassic Park time, obviously. But the thing that's funny is when you watch Jurassic Park and you watch Carnosaur side by side, I'm going to be quite honest with you.
they're the same.
No, they're not the same. I actually like Carnosaur's story better.
Yeah?
I think that the science behind it is a lot better. The problem with Carnosaur is typical with Corman films. It doesn't have the budget to support the film, unfortunately. If it had had a budget like Jurassic Park, it would have blown Jurassic Park out of the water.
And see, that's one thing I do love about Corman. There's sometimes he gets big budget films, other times he gets it, but he doesn't care. He loves the art, or he loved the art of it.
Now,
See, I'm still talking like he's still here.
now, here's going to be a controversial pick, and
Okay.
one that may not have occurred to you. The Fantastic Four.
I remember that.
The Fantastic Four. Okay, listen to me so far. Now, we know Marvel's coming with
still good.
a big budget Fantastic Four flick is coming. Okay,
Another one.
But
That's
when
the
you,
one,
when,
two,
when-
three,
no, wait,
four,
wait, wait,
fifth
but this
one?
one's being done by Marvel.
Oh,
Okay, Marvel Studios is doing this one.
What,
the
Fox
other
did
ones,
the others?
others were Fox.
Was it Fox?
It was Fox,
Yeah.
and they were
Sony?
kind of okay. No, not Sony. It was Fox. They screwed up in the worst way ever, and that's how do you screw up Doctor Doom?
They were doing really good for a minute there, and then that whole moon thing kind of just.
Nah, the whole thing with Doctor Doom was terrible. Seeing Galactus as a giant cloud. What? I mean, okay, so the Fantastic Four movie, okay, here's the thing, you have to have some imagination when you see this film, because I actually recommend, I think it's called Doomed, the Fantastic Four story. It's a documentary about them making that film and what happened and why. There is a copy of it floating around. Somebody went in before Marvel was able to pull that film and made a VHS copy of the film. So you can see it. It's a little difficult to track down, use
So if
your-
I find it, we're going to watch this.
Oh, I have it.
You-
Yes.
Oh, so we're going to watch that
Yes,
then.
yes. Use your torrents. But the thing that's cool is, okay, I remember back in the day, the thing looks like, Captain Crunch glued all over it. No, it doesn't. The thing actually looks kind of cool for the time. There are...
Practical effects.
and I'm sorry, I liked the way Doctor Doom looked.
Oh, yeah.
And the actor who played him, and God forbid, I can't remember his name right now, did a wonderful job. But here's the thing, you have trouble hearing him, and it's because the film was never fully mastered. So if they could have went back through and re-recorded the audio, the performance he puts on is
Would've
good.
matched it.
Right. So some of the or not set pieces, but placeholders for special effects were terrible. But the movie only had a $1 million budget. But what they pulled off with that film,
Yeah.
story-wise, is better than anything they've done with the Fantastic Four film yet. It seems like the comic book. It has the mole people in it without them being called the mole people because Marvel didn't want to let go of it. And rumor has it that Stan Lee trashed the film, which if you watch the documentary, I guess Stan Lee showed up quite often
Yeah.
to see how they were doing. So honestly, I think that this is a film that really should be watched because it really was not that bad from a storyline wise. It was fun.
Okay. I've had this argument with a lot of other Marvel fans, and I've asked them, have you watched the 90s versions of all of these things you watch now?
Yeah.
And growing up, they were great. Went back, watched them. Some of them are a little machismo now, but the stories were still better.
Yes, the Fantastic Four was good. Out of those, Captain America's okay. It's not my favorite film. I have respect for it for what it is. I like a lot of the actors and actresses.
It's not as bad as Spider-Man.
The film, that's 80s.
Yeah.
Late 70s, early 80s. It was pretty bad. But acceptable for its time.
Yeah.
No, of those, sorry, Punisher wins it all. Dolph Lundgren and Lou Gossett Jr. Just
not Nick Fury?
Fantastic.
With
Okay, now we're getting off. We're not making a Marvel video here. I just happened to bring up Fantastic Four because it's part of it.
Yes, but see, we're in the machismo of how these are all the films around at the same time as Fantastic Four that they had to group off of through Marvel. And the best movie at the time, okay, was Howard the Duck.
No. No, dude. Duck boobs.
But
just weird. Duck boobs, weird.
But
talk about messing with a kid's head. You show them duck boobs and then try to tell them that
it's wrong.
It's wrong. It's
feathered.
like, what are we doing? Feathered boobs.
Like
we're talking like Dolly Parton duck boobs too. This was just terrible. Sorry, Dolly.
But back to my point here is, if you've watched all of these,
yes,
then you should watch Fantastic Four.
Yes, Fantastic Four, again, fun film, way underrated. If you walk into this thing not taking it seriously, you actually will have a good time watching it. The story alone, and before this seems so fantastic and unrealistic. If you don't want unrealistic, then don't watch comic book movies.
Fast and Furious.
It's just like, I watch, Fast and Furious. Yeah, those are realistic. James Bond is so real. Fun stuff. Okay, number 3 has to be A Bucket of Blood.
Bucket of Blood.
I mean, this film, man, made Dick Miller kind of not a household name, unfortunately. He was always that guy looks familiar. He's been in it, man. Gremlins, the Terminator. Terminator is the gun shop owner. And he always played Richard Paisley. Okay, Chopping Mall, another movie.
Yeah.
And he still plays Paisley as the security guard. Tales from the Crypt Demonite. I mean, he was the old man that was the drunk. I mean,
I got to meet him at Monsterpalooza before he died.
I never got to meet Dick Miller. He was such a cool dude.
And in my little box up on the shelf is the autograph with this photo.
Ooh.
And we're walking by, and I walked up and says, look, because it's towards the end, he's had a long day. I was like, look, man, I just really want to let you know, I appreciate your work. I appreciate the characters you've played through all these years. And he's like, you know what? Want to hear a story?
No, here we go.
And I'm like, okay. So he goes and tells me stories about Gremlins and all the other stuff. Signs an autograph from me.
And Gremlins 2.
Yeah.
He was also, he survived for Gremlins 2.
He killed a gremlin.
Yeah, he killed Gremlins 2, man.
See? I'm not crazy. But again, wonderful people.
Mm-hmm. But, yes,
Bucket of Blood.
A Bucket of Blood, man. Beatnik Horror? Who's heard of Beatnik Horror?
Reefer Madness?
Man. So he plays a guy that's like basically a half-wit that works as a frickin' waiter or a busboy in which I'm not going to go into too much detail because we actually have this set up for another episode on the Islander. We're doing Islander with Eli Kalilikani. We're going to be doing Bucket of Blood. But the point being is, the guy, he accidentally stabs a cat in the wall and covers it in clay, and there you go. It's artwork. And the beatniks are like, oh my God, this is brilliant. And everything goes awry from there. It's kind of like his version of what was that, House of Wax in a very beatnik kind of way, and it worked.
All I could think about was Boondocks and the cat blowing up on the wall, and all of a sudden he's like, hey, let's put clay on it.
Have you not seen A Bucket of Blood?
It's been a long time.
Okay.
But so, God, that's the only thing that went through my mind. I'm like, really?
4.
Sorry,
this is number 2. Three was okay.
I'll find out in the recap.
No. This is number 2. Number 2, I'm going with Chopping Mall because Chopping Mall was so 80s, and it's kind of like during that same era where like Night of the Comet was popular and stuff like that. Fast Times at Ridgemont High was in heavy play on like HBO and all that. And so he makes a horror movie about a shopping mall with robots that are the frickin' security guards, and lightning hits it, and of course the robots go berserk and start killing all these teenage kids that are having a party. And oh man, dude,
Johnny Five is alive.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably, actually, when you think about Short Circuit, probably did
Get the idea of that.
have influenced the idea of what that was, because man, that movie is pretty crazy. And okay, so the crazy thing, Barbara Crampton's death scene in Chopping Mall, wow.
Yeah.
Horrifying. She gets burned alive, dude, and her screams, I mean, it's really weird because stuff like that kind of doesn't usually bother me, but something about that scene is just like nightmare fuel for me every time. Every time I see it, I just feel like, oh, you, just, yeah. What are we looking at?
The nightmare fuel.
And number one, I'm sorry, it's a tie. Mask of the Red Death or Pit and the Pendulum. I mean, I can't pick one. You
great.
already know, I absolutely adore Vincent Price. Vincent Price is one of my all-time favorites, and those two movies, I really do believe, kind of signify or epitomize what he was to horror.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of, like, say something like the Dr. Phibes
Look,
films, which were just, wow.
I wouldn't be the ghoul I am today without Vincent Price.
Yeah,
I can
absolutely.
honestly say that.
Vincent was very special. It wasn't all, I mean, I've seen some of the actors try to follow his lead into horror. We've had them all. George C. Scott, recently Nicolas Cage. And
Right.
I don't think, I mean, Nicolas Cage really,
He's still got.
but Vincent Price is he's just different. He's
Yeah.
a cut above everybody else. He was just
He
very
was
special.
It's weird to say it this way, but it makes sense. The better, refined, but still horror version, Christopher Lee.
Yes.
Even though Christopher Lee did horror, it was still not as good as. But it was close.
I would beg to differ with you on a
I
couple.
like-
Did you see like The Wicker Man?
Well, yeah.
What?
But still.
Christopher Lee Vincent Price was originally offered that role and turned it down. And Christopher Lee took it in because he wanted that film so that he would stop being typecast as Dracula. And man, dude, I don't care who you are, man. If you have never seen, and I'm not talking about, oh God, the bees, not that
The
Wicker
bees.
Man.
Oh,
I'm
God.
talking about the original film. What a scary movie. And it's a very slow burn build of dread. And by the time you get to the end of the Wicker Man, it's like, oh my God, they're not really going to go here.
Oh, but
But they did, and we'll talk about that movie at another time too. But again, back to Roger Corman, because we keep getting off track. But anyway,
see, that's how much he's influenced.
all right. I mean, yes, absolutely. He influenced a lot of people, and 98 years old. I believe. Yeah. 2 years away from being 100, and wow.
He would have George burned us all.
What a career.
Right.
What a fantastic career. Some fantastic movies. I mean, there's a lot of films I haven't even, Galaxy of Terror. Little Joni grew up. She no longer needed Chachi anymore. Battle Beyond the Stars. I mean, we're going to, spoof Star Wars, at least do it right.
Right.
I mean, it's like one of the things that was greatest about those films was Roger Corman's idea, we need to make the walls look futuristic. They have to look futuristic. They have to look futuristic. And you're looking at these walls, and it's like, this looks awesome on the spaceship, but what is it? You can't figure it out. You can't
Right.
figure it out. I'm watching the special features. Thank you, back when DVDs had special features. Hey, Blu-ray manufacturers, by the way, bring the special features back to our DVDs. Right? We shouldn't have to buy a Blu-ray just to get special features. That's kind of lame, Especially when you're still almost charging the same price for the DVD and the Blu-ray. Right?
This is about barge people, isn't it?
Nah, this is about any movie that they're doing that with. I feel, kind of ripped off,
But ever
man.
since barge people, man, you've been really upset about no trailers and other things.
Yeah, I kind of like special features
Yeah.
sometimes because you learn stuff like this.
Yes.
What were the walls on the spaceships made out of?
The commentary tells all.
They went down to McDonald's and got as many of the styrofoam boxes for quarter pounders and double quarter pounders that they could, stapled them to the walls and panels, and then painted them.
A royal with cheese, huh?
Or pretty much. So yes, there you go, guys. Who would think to make walls on a set out of cheeseburger boxes?
These guys did.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Roger Corman, king of the low budget film.
Oh, hell yeah. Learned a lot from that man.
Right. Yeah, well, let's put it this way: a lot of people did, and he will live on forever in his films. And
Oh, hell yeah.
rest in peace, Roger.
Rest in peace, Roger.
We'll miss you.
Greatest inspiration.
Absolutely.
And that is our time for this one, huh?
That is, and we'll see you on the next video. Y'all have a good one.
Cue the theme music.